guys, welcome to another episode of the Beat Kitchen. Today this is going to be the percussion edition. Essentially what we're going to be doing is using a lot of different pieces of percussion and some unconventional stuff. I'm also going to be singing on this particular track. I do a little bit of singing, not necessarily Frank Sinatra or anything like that, but I do try my best. Hope you guys enjoy, and we're going to go ahead and dive into the ingredients list. As always, we're going to start with the drums. We're going to kind of keep them real mellow. I don't want them to kind of be the forefront of this particular track. Since we have a lot of other percussion elements, I do want them to kind of shine inside of there too. And you know, let the drums kind of set the backbone of this particular rhythm section. The piano is going to be next. Essentially, that's going to be the background. It's going to be playing all the chords and everything like that. We also have a synth lead. That I kind of went for a guitar-esque sound, and primarily with this synth lead I used the Arturia Mini Brute that I have, and it kind of used a little bit of modulation and experimenting inside Logic to get that particular sound. Next we have our acid organ. I'm a big fan of acid jazz. This organ kind of is reminiscent of that sound. A lot of high end, a lot of distortion, and I think it also adds a nice little texture to the particular track. And then we're going to go ahead and hop over to the bass. I'm going to be playing the bass line on my guitar this time instead of sampling my bass playing. We're going to keep it pretty dry and pretty straightforward. I know that when it comes to bass, I really don't switch it up too much, but I do want this bass line to really support the whole track. So that's kind of the main purpose of this particular bass line. We're not going to go super crazy. It's just going to provide that nice low end and provide that consistent rhythm. Alright, and then we're going to hop into the vocals. Essentially I have a lead vocal that'll be somewhat distorted. I'm going to take some of the high end out, kind of give it an older sound. And then for the backgrounds, I'm actually going to do something really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and run it through a Leslie-like pedal inside of Logic. So that pedal essentially gives it a very unique sound. I think you guys should check it out and really listen to how it changes the vocal. Essentially, I record through the same microphone. The only thing I really added on this particular background is that particular Logic pedal. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and hop into the rhythm section. We're going to go ahead and add the bongos, and essentially this is going to just add a little bit of, I guess more of an exotic feel to this particular rhythm section. Don't necessarily, like the word exotic when people talk about percussion most of the time, but I think bongos just add a little bit of just a nice different aspect to the particular rhythm sections. And I really like drum breaks with the bongos in them. I'd probably say some of my favorite drum breaks have them. Next we have our shaker. Pretty straightforward. We're going to be doing some shaking. We're going to be recording the shaking, and then we're going to add the shaking to the track. We also have the tambourine. We're going to primarily focus on using the tambourine on the snare. I love snare drums with a tambourine sound on top of them. It really just kind of adds a little bit more of a live feel to it, which is ultimately what you kind of want to aim for if you're working with programmed drums. Alright, for the interesting piece of percussion that we're going to be adding, it's going to be car keys. Essentially, the car keys are going to add a little bit to the snare. I know that tambourines typically kind of sound a little bit like car keys if you compare the two sounds, but these have a nicer decay in my opinion, and I feel like kind of adding this to it will even add a little more interest to that snare. Alright, and now you're probably asking why I'm holding my bass again. The last ingredient is the bass, but really what we're trying to do is get away with an electric guitar sound. So what I did is I used a plugin inside of Logic, which is the pitch shifting plugin, and I pitched it up an octave and then played my lead line on the top two strings of the bass guitar. And I think that it did kind of sound like a guitar. I think it could get away with that sound, and I feel like we did a really good job actually. And I really like what it added to the track. Definitely doesn't make the track muddy in any way, I don't think. This is probably the first time I've ever tried to play a bass guitar and kind of fake it into an electric guitar. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Beat Kitchen. Today we focused on the percussion section, and I think we did a pretty good job. I feel like the track came out really nice, and hope you guys enjoyed it. We're probably going to play the rest of it here momentarily, but before that, if you guys really like the page and like the series, definitely subscribe and like this video. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, for now, hope you guys enjoy, and peace.
Let me take it all back. All the shit that I did, and all the things